November 27th, we have a full moon in the constellation of Taurus, and this is the culmination of the lunar cycle that began when we saw that first lunar crescent in Scorpio on November 14th. And if you would like to look back at the beginning of this cycle, because the beginning always shows the whole, I invite you to look at my blog post titled November New Moon, Expect the Unexpected. And this is a culmination of that cycle that began then. And so the midpoint, we're in the midpoint culmination of a perfect 30-day cycle, which will end on December 14th when we see the first lunar crescent in the sky again to begin a new lunar cycle once again. And I am Tammy Antoinette. I am a sidereal astrologer. I practice astrology as it was practiced by the original astrologers back in ancient Babylon, ancient Acadia, ancient Sumer, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and all over the world, back when the astrologers went outside to go look at the real astronomical sky in real time. So I practice astrology as looking at the constellations rather than calculating the signs as the modern astrologers do. If you'd like to know more about that, then you can see my video about what is the difference between sidereal astrology and tropical astrology and why I practice sidereal astrology. And so the beginning always shows the whole. You can go back and see my blog post at thestarqueen.com/blog to see how the cycle began and how we can still make use of this cycle that began then, how to still keep using these and harnessing these energies and prayers to fortify us throughout this entire cycle. And I invite you to click the subscribe button down below so you can see more of these videos in your inbox on the ancient sidereal astrology, the predictions. So the full moon is with the fixed star Merthok that is in the center of the Perseus galaxy. And we are influenced with a burst of developments at this full moon time, as Perseus is the warrior who was the one, after much death and destruction had occurred, he was the one to finally conquer the Medusa. And the Medusa represents our fears. It represents our addictions. It's represented by the fixed star Algol in the sky. And Perseus had guidance and tools from some of the most powerful divinities to conquer the Medusa once and for all. So courage, along with the right direction, tools, and righteous action can conquer anything that may appear to be holding us back at this time. Our inner light is illuminated to break through any blocks and barriers with patience, focus, determination, and perseverance. So with invisible Mars conjunct the sun, that's opposite the full moon, of course, our passion, our perseverance, our energy can be focused on our goals right now through determined and persistent action to avoid the irritation, anger, and impulsive actions that Mars can influence. As Mars is coming off of a square to Saturn that has been requiring from us intentional actions and responses to anything that we have been karmically complete with, the full moon brings the results of this completion to light. And this full moon is influencing us today, now, of course, on November 27th, but also in the waning part of the full moon, or from as the full moon begins to wane in the days ahead. We still feel this influence for this entire lunar cycle. And Saturn and Mars is afflicting the moon. So this indicates frustration and the perception of blocked ambitions. So patience, self-discipline, and flexibility, reworking strategies are required in order to avoid any reckless behavior, any instability, and any unnecessary conflict. So Mars is activated by the full moon, and it's on the sacred degree of plant medicines, which is at 7 degrees fixed Babylonian Scorpio, and activating this point. It's activating this point in the sky a final time following that first lunar crescent and bright Mercury at the beginning of this lunar cycle, which I spoke about on my blog at thestarqueen.com/blog. And you can see that it's titled November New Moon, Expect the Unexpected. So I invite you to look back at that to really get the full picture of this whole lunar cycle that we're in, and to add to this culmination. So plant medicines right now are especially potent, powerful, and really coming to the forefront of our attention, and are saving grace as a very important evolutionary tool, or many important evolutionary tools, to assist us to alchemize and transmute old habits, patterns, and seemingly stuck or buried trauma, so that we can use these triggers. As of lately, especially, we've been through a lot of difficult times lately, times of big changes, and we can use these triggers for permanent transformation to fortify us for resiliency and for more brilliance, to activate more brilliance. We can shine our most authentic light whenever we shed these layers and do this healing work with these beautiful plant medicine tools. So that we can be more fortified and prepared for changing times now and ahead, especially heading into the darker months of winter time as the sun wanes. So it's a real gift and a blessing to be able to use these beautiful alchemical tools given by the earth, the plant medicines, when heaven calls for great changes in alchemy. And if you'd like to know more about plant medicines, I urge you to go to my website, thestarqueen.com, and you can click on Gifts of the Earth, and you can find more about that there. And ask me your questions too. I love to answer any questions that you may have and hear your wisdom also on this matter. So as this full moon, at this full moon time, Mercury is also in transition from water in Scorpio to fire in Sagittarius, which is a very volatile transition from water to fire, and also going through the galactic center, the center of our galaxy, which is literally a black hole. So this is square Neptune, which is creating a conflict between the mind and the higher heart. And it can amplify illusions, cast clouds of confusion, especially if we are out of balance or under any spell of toxicity. Mercury square Neptune can cause confusion, disorientation, misinformation, deception, scheming. So make sure you are being very clear and concise, and don't make any snap judgments. Seek trusted or professional advice, and take time and consideration of the small details of signing contracts, or if you are signing contracts or dealing with legal matters. It can be easy to fall down rabbit holes of misinformation and trickery while you're doing research. And we can also be extra sensitive to any drugs, alcohol, or any altering substances. So the best ways to use this influence are meditation, visioning a beautiful future, creative writing, or any kind of journaling, listening to beautiful music, and watching beautiful movies. Mercury will continue to revisit this Neptune influence of conflict with his incoming retrograde journey that will begin on December 12th and it'll go all the way into January. So I'll speak more into this more deeply in a future video. But for now, just remember this influence is going to stay with us for a while. So use it constructively so that it doesn't take twists and turns in ways that that aren't healthy for us. That would be the advice for this time period. And Venus will conjunct the South Node, at 28 degrees Virgo with the fixed star Spica, which helps us to let go of the culminations that occurred from the eclipse season. And you can see my videos on the eclipses if you'd like to look back, because those energies are still affecting us right now. And you can also go to thestarqueen.com/blog and see more into those there. So we're letting go of old, outdated values with Venus on the South Node of the eclipse point. We're letting go of old, outdated values in order to make fresh, fertile ground for those higher incoming beliefs and values that can help to assist us, to help uplift us to where we next need to go in our journey of evolution. Venus enters her home of Libra in November. Well, it is November 30th, to journey through this section of the sky through Christmas Day. So with Venus in Libra, she is operating in a much higher octave. She's no longer afflicted like she was when she was in Virgo. And I spoke on that in the past and how that's been affecting us as far as matters of relationship, matters of the heart, our values, art, material wealth. Venus affects women, any Venusian businesses concerning luxury and beauty. So this is going from more of a lower dignity, a weakened, these parts of our lives and parts of the world, parts of these attributes were weakened while Venus was in Virgo. But now, starting November 30th, Venus is going to be in really very good dignity to bring us more grace and beauty and an upliftment of these matters of the heart and relationship and values and art. And this is a beautiful holiday blessing coming up for us to bless our relationships. So the brilliant, radiant, sapphire white star Vega, which is in the constellation of the Lyra, is now rising in the morning sky, beginning a new cycle of healing, love, compassion, calming of the mind, and music. And this happens every year this time of year. We see Vega coming out from the rays of the sun to rise into a new cycle. And this will bless us with more love, compassion, help, and good health and cheer. It gives beneficence, ideality, hopefulness, refinement, and changeability. And we also want to be careful because it can also bring about more sober, outwardly pretentious, and lascivious attributes. So according to Hermes, Vega is the star of priests and of spirituality. The Babylonians called Vega the star of the Queen of Life. And in a good cosmic configuration, Vega can give artistic talents, especially for music, acting, but also a desire for indulgent living, which can lead to a debauched life if it's afflicted. And right now, Vega is not afflicted. Vega is in high dignity as she rises to adorn us with her beauty. So we can see a strengthening of these more positive attributes right now, and always this time of year if Vega is not afflicted. And so all that I have mentioned is fully available for us at this time. So now is the time to integrate all that we've been through and honor how far we've come. To acknowledge for yourself that you had made it. You've made it this far. We've made it through a lot of changes. We've shifted in many ways recently. So I invite you to appreciate yourself, be grateful for your perseverance and all things. Be proud of yourself for stepping up and making better and better choices. We have had so many shifts happening recently, and now is the perfect time to slow down and honor what is of value, what's beneficial, what's joyful, such as playfulness, love, connection, authenticity, and taking a little extra time to rest as we wind down through the rest of this lunar cycle, and as the sun is waning also, to integrate. It's a really good time to integrate, to be more still, and just live our lives and prepare for new beginnings when we see that first lunar crescent begin again on December 14th, which I will speak into in my future video. So how are you experiencing these changing times? I'd love to hear your words of wisdom, answer your questions. So leave me a comment or send me a message. I love hearing from you. Much love, joy, gratitude, courage, and miracles to you.